The Celtics just beat the Nuggets, and it's because they didn't care about Nikola Jokic. The last time the Celtics beat Nikola Jokic was in November of 2022. The Nuggets have had the Celtics number, but this time around, Boston came out on top. And after the game, when Gary Washburn of the Boston Globe asked Joe Mazzulla how they slowed down Nikola Jokic, Mazzulla said that they didn't even talk about him.
We didn't talk anything about Jokic in the game plan. It's not about him. It's about controlling all the other stuff that you can control.
Now, part of that can't be true. Nikola Jokic is the best basketball player on planet Earth, so of course he came up during the game plan. See, rather than focusing on Jokic, the Celtics decided to take away the ways Jokic can impact the game. Instead of straight up doubling Jokic to stop him from scoring, they kept their help to the side while also packing the paint to cut off cuts. The result of this was Christian Brown and Russell Westbrook taking a ton of threes, which isn't normal for the Nuggets offense. Joe Mazzulla talked about all the ways they could do this in his press conference as well, noting that the Celtics had to take away cuts, keep Jokic off the free throw line, and prevent their looks in transition. And he's right. The Nuggets are the best cutting team in the NBA. They average 11.6 possessions of cutting per game, which is the most in the league, and their 72% shooting on cuts is second in the NBA. Seeing how many of Denver's perimeter players cut so often is indicative of how impactful Nikola Jokic can be as a passer. So by packing the paint and being aware of these guys, the Celtics were able to slow down that part of Denver's offense. And by guarding Christian Brown with the likes of Luke Kornet, they were able to kill two birds with one stone. On the one hand, they slowed down Nikola Jokic as a scorer, but on the other, they slowed him down as a passer because Christian Brown and Russell Westbrook couldn't cut to the rim as much because of how many Celtics players were in the paint. From tip-off, the Celtics had multiple bodies in the paint, and as the game went on, they had as many as 5 guys in there. Even when Nikola Jokic managed to bend the Celtics defense by drawing pressure, they did a great job of reacting to cuts because it was a huge part of their game plan. Luke Kornet found a cutting Christian Brown to get a big block at the rim, and Derek White got in on the action too, sprinting over from the perimeter help on Jokic to stop Russell Westbrook from getting a bucket off his own cut. And throughout the game, it became even more obvious how hyper-aware the Celtics were of these cuts. The Nuggets still got some buckets from this look, but by and large, Boston's plan to slow them down on cuts worked. And the other points that Joe Mazzulla made happened too. The Nuggets averaged 1.17 points per possession in transition, which is 7th in the NBA. Their 25.7 transition points per game is 6th in the NBA, and their 21.9 transition possessions per game are 8th in the NBA. But by attacking the offensive glass more, the Celtics were able to prevent some of those opportunities. They did this a lot with corner crashing. Guys like Torrey Craig and Sam Hauser would rush over from the corners to try to keep the ball alive, which slowed down the Nuggets' ability to get out in transition. Even when they weren't fully in the corner, guys like Luke Kornet helped over from the dunker spot to keep possessions alive and prevent the Nuggets from running. And then maybe most impressively, the Celtics didn't give Jokic a single free throw in this game. Al Horford did a phenomenal job of guarding him straight up, and Luke Kornet's help defense made Jokic into a passer more often than a scorer. But by forcing the Nuggets to run most of their offense through things that they're not comfortable with, like Christian Brown and Russell Westbrook threes, the Celtics took away the ability for Nikola Jokic to be impactful in the way that normally helps the Nuggets win games. Their goal is to take away cuts, prevent transition opportunities, and keep Jokic off the free throw line worked to perfection. And even though the Nuggets made their run with Jamal Murray hitting some big shots and them running the Murray-Jokic pick and roll a lot in the third quarter, the Celtics won the game in the aggregate because of how they forced the Nuggets to play their offense. First rule of Fight Club:
do not talk about Fight Club.
And apparently the first rule to beating Nikola Jokic is don't talk about Nikola Jokic.